And for those most clued up on Trek trivia, I bet you didn't know that Spock had a sister. She's been beamed down in front of the Lombard studio and will be making a rare TV appearance after these more earthly messages.
Outdoors for your shoot tonight?
Yes, we're out here. We had so many people we couldn't possibly conceive of squeezing them all into the Lombard studio, so we thought, we'll just bring everybody outside. Well, as you'll see first up tonight, as if the 100-odd theatrical experiences weren't enough to attract you to the Fringe, then we have one more incentive. Red River Valley of the Dolls is an all-female cabaret offering a harmonious alternative to 10 days of wall-to-wall theatre. Eve Rice is here from Vav Jungle to explain a little bit about the setup. Now, Eve, I know that I shouldn't really be referring to you as Eve tonight. You're in character, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Viva. Viva, the MC of the show. The 10-act show. It's a little bit of comedy, a little bit of dance, singing. Where'd she go? She's hiding. She's around there somewhere. Anyways, but it's just a variety. It's a variety show, and it's all women. You should come to it. Also, there may be a peep show, but you know.
That's something that's going to get people attending. Now tell us, what's the sort of... it's all... Yes, what is this doll connection?
Well, it's just the Red River Valley of the Dolls. Remember the dolls? So it's sort of like this doll thing, you know, and... well, the dolls are wearing, you know, outfits, different outfits. We sort of drew the outfits in, and they have interesting hair and things. Yeah.
Okay, and this goes for our friend here on the box as well. Why is she on a box tonight?
Well, actually, she's from the planet, what is it again? Vulcan, yes. She's a Vulcan. She is Dr. Spock's sister, Speck. And she's not as small as a Speck. She's a big Speck. She's here, and she's back, and she's doing her thing. Really now, huh?
Well, I think we should see her do her thing, and I think we should let you introduce her since you're here in the role of MC tonight. So tell us a little bit more.
Here is Speck doing her song called It's So Illogical.
Went out walking in my new boots, which are really kind of cool. And I know it was too icy to wear boots without no traction. Slammed my face into the pavement, and it really kind of hurt. And now I'm angry at my boyfriend for being such a jerk. Slammed his finger in the doorway, and I hope it really hurts. But now I really hate my mother for all the evil things she did. And I know it's illogical. It's so illogical. Doesn't make much sense, doesn't make much sense, so doesn't make much sense. Since it doesn't make much sense, so doesn't make much sense. Oh, I really love the 60s, 'cause they dress so very cool. But now 60s is the fashion around the halls of my high school. And hey, my brother's really famous. Maybe you heard of him, Leonard Nimoy. Why don't we go out to the folk fest and dance really angular? Fell in love with a cool guy, and I guess we're kind of married. He loves that I am never sweaty or panicky or harried, and I know it's illogical. It's so illogical. Doesn't make much sense, doesn't make much sense, so doesn't make much sense. Since it doesn't make much sense, so doesn't make much sense. No, I'm not tired. I said I don't need to lie down. I know it doesn't make much sense. No, I don't want to write it down. It's all your fault, you little asshole. This is the warning. Stay away. My phasers are set to kill.
Wow! I'm feeling so much better since I took that little pill. What would you like for dinner? Oh, you cook well, aren't you, Bubble? Oh, I really love these children. Beck is a popular woman, clearly.
She is. She's amazing. Like from another planet, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Out of this world,
Out of
one
this
finds
world.
oneself saying. Thank you, Speck. Thank you, Speck's followers. And thank you to you,
Thank you
Viva.
very much.
So we've got one last thing. We've got to
Yes.
check when people can see this cabaret.
Yes, it is at the Underground Cafe, which is, oh, I always get the address wrong. What is it again?
Well, Arthur Street.
70s. Think of the 70s. 70 Arthur Street. And you walk down these stairs, and these groovy paintings are everywhere, right? And it's on the 18th. What is it, Speck, again? The 18th?
I know. It's on the 18th, and it goes through until the next Saturday, and it's at 9:30.
Come there. It always starts at 9:30, so be there, and you'll love it.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you once again.
Thank you, now, Mother Speck.
Well, I don't know whether Speck is carrying some sort of transporter with her, but we could certainly have done with it at our next destination tonight. It was the opening night for South Pacific, which of course meant the Kildonan Park was rather well endowed with lineups. Nonetheless, we managed to battle through to bring you this early scene featuring Emile and Nellie.
Can't help it. When the sky is bright canary yellow, I forget every cloud I've ever seen. So they call me a tall-eyed optimist, immature and ignorantly green. I have heard people rant and rave and bellow that we're dumb and we might as well be dead. But I'm only a tall-eyed optimist, and I can't get it into my head. I hear the human race is falling on its face and hasn't been.
Well, that's enough of the South Pacific. Now we're going to a party of a slightly different variety. The setting is the outside of a local convenience store where kids from very different backgrounds are forced to look at issues of human cruelty.
Oh, plus one day, I'm gonna bring my camera and go inside 7-Eleven, tape shit, you know?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, like just imagine like the inside of a 7-Eleven, but with music like, you know, Sonic Youth or Fugazi or Tony Bennett. Oh, and one night, when no one noticed, I turned the ghetto blaster on and recorded everybody talking. You need some of that stuff too.
What did I say?
Oh, well nothing. Well, you know.
Okay. I wish I could see that.
You can see it anytime you want.
Really?
Suburbia will open at Venue 9, that's at Main and Bannatyne, this Sunday at 9:15. We're still on the Fringe. We're now going to follow the exploits of Clara through the inner bowels of New York in Bag Lady.
He would take care of me if he knew where I was. Diana, sandwich immediately. Hey, Mrs. Would you please? An egg salad sandwich. Why, don't you want one too? We could have one together. How about it, Mrs.? No? No time. Well, sorry. That's life. Don't need to impose. I know I take up a lot of room. Queens do.
The Canadian debut of Bag Lady can be seen at Venue 10. That's 476 Main Street from Friday. Now, it would cost you $8.
Agent Scuttlebutt. Yes? It has what? We'll be right there.
We'll be right where?
That was the sheriff. She's at the county morgue. It seems I...
Never mind about Scully and Mulder, just try keeping up with Mulcher and Scuttlebutt. Yes, Hamster on Fire Productions is once again bringing the S-Files to the Fringe. We have one pair of tickets to give away for the show on Monday night. In addition, we have 15 more. But first, something for you to muse upon. Imagine, if you will, what would happen if the entire cast of Return of the Jedi was suddenly, for some reason, unable to make the movie. Now picture, if you will, that the cast of The Simpsons has been brought in as last-minute reminders. Now, this may be a little difficult for you or I to envision, but in the world of Bruce McNeil, it's already become a reality.
Somebody fetch me Lord Vader.
It's time! It's Vader time!
Better make that Lord Burns.
I was a guitar teacher, and I have a lot of my students kept saying, oh, do Smithers and do Burns and do Homer and stuff like that. So yeah, I was always constantly pestered to be doing my voices. I thought, well, I might as well do something with them.
Why has the Death Star not completed as planned?
Well, hi. Well, you see, we had some problems with the jaws and the generator when we're running and hiding, and, well, I'm taking glasses right off my head.
Out of curiosity, is there anyone here who is incompetent?
Now, you do some 60 voices. How do you sort of prepare yourself for this?
Yell a lot backstage just before the show. That's about all I do, really.
Is it a constantly expanding number?
Yeah, the more, if I can find a part from another character, I try and jam them in there one way or another. And, yeah, it's always a work in progress, I guess. We're actually able to name 100 different characters that have been on the show at one time or another, like cameo guest appearances and, you know, assistant policemen and stuff.
You look so good. Well, neither one of you are good 10,000 years older than Sam. Now what do you want? Well, I just want to get with. I want this, I want that. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Well, I tell you something, you ain't getting nothing out of me. Besides, Pat my song in it.
It's a lot of fun. There's lots of audience participation. It's just, it's like a roller coaster act that just doesn't stop.
Bruce McNeil will be playing Homer, Bart, Smithers, and so on, beginning Saturday at Venue 1 at 9 p.m. Well, for this next pursuit, you only need to coordinate 22 characters.
Probably just hyper and some of her bimbos.
The Winnipeg Fringe Festival gets officially underway today. Pick up a program for detailed listings of indoor stage events, or drop by the outdoor stage to see a variety of acts for free. Strawberry fever breaks out in Portage La Prairie today. The annual Strawberry Festival offers all sorts of strawberry-inspired treats, as well as homegrown entertainment on the main stage. Two technology-based installations are new in St. Norbert. The Arts and Cultural Centre presents Cranking Out Paradigms and Divining for Lost Sound from 8 p.m. Guy Smiley will celebrate the release of their new CD, Can't Turn Back, tonight. Join the Winnipeg punk outfit together with Moose Jaw's Layaway Plan and Oakbank's Kick Me Kate at the West End. Finally, at the Pyramid Cabaret, see who triumphs in the search for raw bands. Finalists include Eve, Dot 50 and Insect Gods, with each competing for studio time and opening spot for a major band. Well, if you take the...
In last night's Spotlight, we touched on the Fringe Festival slightly, but you know, there's so much to see, I thought we'd take another look. Telling Tales by Jason Sherman is playing at Venue 13, and that's in the Art Space building. This play, you'll see 5 very different tales about theater. There's a good mix of comedy and drama. The Fringe Festival runs until Sunday at various venues around the city. And there's a new comedy hitting Winnipeg.
Even though I don't live with her, I moved out on my own. When I get the word that she's on the way, I clean up my home. Mom's coming to my house, I gotta clean up my room. Mom's coming to my house, so I better go buy a broom. Wash the floor, wash the door, wash the dishes and wash some more. My mom's coming to my house.
So, but we thought back, Golly America needs a good kick in the pants. So, we did look...
Mom's coming to my house, I gotta clean up this mess. Mom's coming to my house, so better...
Come see round.
Come see the cleaners. Hello!
MC go there, then you won. Go there, yeah.
Or for those who are trying fringing for the first time, the organizers offer the following advice. First of all, get a program. It lists all the shows by venue and also gives an index in the back so you can pick a show by show type. Next of all, read the venue map so you know exactly where your play is happening. Number 3, get a ticket. You can either get these in advance on the Advanced Ticket Central or a day of with cash at the venue itself. Well, next we have something which...
An excerpt from The Simpsons to Les Miserables.
One more day to revolution, we will nip it in the bud. We'll be ready for these schoolboys and unveil a toxic flood.
Monster of the bar, everybody's pal, la 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 la.
Oh, poor Leponine, always left alone. Maybe Mr. Homarius will soon be gone. Tomorrow is the judgment day. Tomorrow will be far away. Tomorrow we'll discover what becomes of our convenience store. Who the hell are you?
The free stage is also underway in Old Market Square. A new act every 45 minutes. That goes until 11:45 tonight. Some of the highlights: the Ma and or Pa show at 7:15 and Vav Jungle at 9:30. So have fun. That's Nightlife. Over to Bill.
Those quirky comedies, ambitious plays, and the sometimes offensive parodies are competing for your support at the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. And if you're an X-Files fan, there's a Fringe spoof for you.
There's something I've been wondering about for a long time now. Why don't you ever see George Jetson talking to aliens? I mean, it's in the future. We've achieved space travel. Where are the aliens?
Hamster and Fire Productions is up for its 3rd time at bat at this year's Fringe Festival with their latest installment of S-Files. Agent Flaxmulser and Scuttlebutt finally face aliens.
Well, when I was first considering doing a Fringe show, I had to ask myself, what did I want to see? And at that point, I had just really gotten into the X-Files a whole lot and decided that I wanted to see an X-Files parody. I thought it would be a lot of fun, and it has been.
Agent Scuttlebutt. Yes? It has what? We'll be right there.
We'll be right where?
That was the sheriff. She's at the county morgue. It seems our victim's body has disappeared. So is the blood sample. The play's about a couple of aliens who have assimilated themselves into the human's culture and are harvesting human brains for, I don't know, guess building new humans on their home planet or something like that. That's basically the plot. She's pretty straight. She's serious about her work, but she thinks that Agent Mulcher is a total, like, freak because he's always counting on these S-Files to, like, help them out. And, but she thinks that everything has a logical explanation.
And we take a couple of the usual elements of the television show and sort of turn them at right angles. And everybody is willing to say what they loved, what they hated, and share that with as many friends as they want. And part of the festival is seeing some really good stuff and seeing some crap sometimes. There's a convenience store up ahead. Have they talked to the person who worked the night shift at the morgue last night?
You can see S-Files starting July 21st at Venue 1, MTC, up the alley. John Schneider, Channel 5 News.
All right, and that'll do it for us.
Year-round.
You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Festivals like the Fringe are a hot attraction, and they're drawing crowds to an otherwise desolate exchange district. Businesses are literally counting their blessings. People flocking to the Fringe means more traffic on the streets and more customers in the stores.
We just actually finished a 45-hour weekend. We were here till 12:30, 1 o'clock on Friday and Saturday, and we closed up around 12:30 last night. It's just been incredible.
Alan Shepard is the new kid on the block. He just moved into this 2,000-square-foot store on Bannatyne Avenue, where it's Christmas year-round, and where trendy boutiques like his are luring shoppers back to the Exchange.
Bring nicer stores like this in would be a real start.
The Exchange District Improvement Zone has uncovered an 8-point plan to revitalize the area, a place where the only sight more abundant than historic buildings are the vacancy signs.
There's great potential looking all around you.
The head of the Exchange Biz says untapping that potential includes converting many of the area's vacant buildings into warehouse-style condominiums.
The more people you have in the area, the more opportunity there is for spin-off effects.
Dulcie Price brought into the idea of a loft apartment years ago and enjoys her 2,000-square-foot warehouse home. It's one of the few living spaces with high ceilings and plenty of natural light in the Exchange District.
Living downtown is great. Close to everything.
Breathing new life into the historic Exchange District will require a lot of teamwork between the city, province, and federal government. But the Exchange Biz is confident they'll be able to attract businesses and people to the area. Nicole Forrest, CKND Newsline.
Lake Country weather is...
And stay with us. Here's a sample of what's still to come in entertainment. But night.
You guys missed. Pretty stupid. Here we go. One more time. Come on, let's get this right. Whoop, here we go. Honor, this is big one. So much better. Big round of applause for this lady. Yeah. All right. Here we go, people. Cool tricks coming up. To the bounces, wait for the balance, then go nuts. 1, 2, 3.
St. Norbert.
That's a scene from one of the many Fringe plays being performed at various venues at this year's Fringe Festival in Winnipeg. Our arts reporter Robert Enright and CBC Radio's Laurie Hoogstraten have seen literally dozens of them over the weekend, and to help us sort out the best, here they are.
Well, you know, that scene we just saw is one from a play called Babaloo and Ganoush, which starred Rick Miller and Stephanie Baptiste. They're from Montreal, and the play is for children and also for adults. And, you know, they speak a kind of, Laurie, a kind of intelligent gibberish throughout the whole thing. And even though they don't speak English, it's a play that really communicates.
You can understand it.
I really understand it, and it's also very funny. And one of the things I noticed in the 22 plays I saw yesterday was that at least 5 of them are genuinely funny. Now, you had the same experience, didn't you, with this one? Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few comedies already. The very first thing I saw was a comedy, but then I saw something that I really liked called Two Guys Who Desperately Want to Be on TV. And I thought, well, you know, the TV thing has been done a ton of times, and maybe this won't be too funny. But these guys, they just grabbed you right away. And they use these allusions to television so in that it's like a kind of code. You get it right away. They talk about friendly giants and wanting to be on Three's Company and so on. And it's really, really good.
Well, they were so desperate to be on TV that they actually came out here to one of the outside sites for us and gave us a scene from their thing. So we're going to give them their wish. The 2 guys desperate to get on TV are just about to get on TV.
So all we got to do is make a funny home video. We'll get on TV. Well, that's great. Now we're going to have to think of something to do. It's okay. I already got it. I got my dad's golf club. Okay, now listen. I am going to pretend that I'm practicing my golf swing. Okay? You sneak in behind me. I hit you in the groin. We get on TV. I have to get hit in the groin? Why are you thinking about that? Patrick, we are going to be on Coast to Coast with Danny Tanner. You're right. Where do you want me to do? Okay, just start somewhere up there. Okay. Hey, which way do you swing?
Those guys, camera likes the business.
It does. They're natural for television. They should be on television.
There's another natural for television. I saw a piece called The Delightful Romp with Roman Danilo. Now, this is a 45-minute piece just as advertised, wickedly and darkly funny, in which Roman plays a whole series of roles. He does some wonderful improvisation at the end as well. But here's one of the roles he plays, which is a young woman who's having a lot of trouble with her wig and her skin.
So great to see you. Oh, you look super. You look fabulous. Oh, how am I doing? Oh, things are great. Things are really, really great. Oh, thank you. Yes, yes. My hair. Oh, yes, it is. It is a little new. It's different. Thank you for noticing. It's actually a wig. Yeah, I lost my hair in a fire. Yeah, I was smoking in bed, and then poof, there went the hair and a couple of layers of the epidermis. But, you know, I thought at first, not so good, but you know what? It's really great. It turns out that fire's just a really good exfoliant, you know? So it's really great. Check it. Super.
Ooh, that's pretty dark humor, that is. You know, he's wonderful as an actor, and what makes his show really work is the quality of the acting. How did you find in the plays you saw over the last couple of days?
I've been absolutely astounded by the quality of the acting. I saw something called Telling Tales, and I thought upstairs at Cinema Tech where it was really hot, and the chairs were like rocks, and I loved it because the actors were so good. And also I saw Lisa Strata. The actors in that are fantastic. You should definitely see that one.
Oh, we'll pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that makes a Fringe play work is not just the quality of the script, which, if it's good, can be strong, but is larger question of how the script works with the quality of the acting. I saw a piece yesterday which was a complete surprise to me called Interbastation, which is not a dirty thing you do at night in your own bedroom. It, in fact, is about the art of quilting. And it's done by Colleen Sebastian, who's from Vancouver. And here, the scene we're going to see here is a very strange one. She's in a waiting room, and she is the daughter of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's bride. And she calls herself Anne of Grim Gables. And she's in the waiting room, waiting to get some maybe bad news, and suddenly she transforms herself into her friend and her mother. So here's that scene from Interbastation. Hard to say.
Oh, Lizzie, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You're the same. You're mine. You'll never change. You are fine. No! I'm not fine. I have not been fine. I've been going crazy, and I've been worried, and I've been trying to talk to you, and you just won't listen to me. Okay, maybe all I've got is deconstruction. But what do I have to do to get you to listen? Do I have to hurt you? All right then, I'll hurt you.
You know, Colleen Sebastian's an example of the best of what happens at the Fringe. You're wandering into a venue, you don't really know much about the play, you stumble across someone who's really got it. Has that been your experience?
Well, actually it has, and I didn't really think that it would be my experience. In fact, I was terrified of being trapped in some horrible venue, and I hated the show, and I couldn't get out. But that hasn't been the experience at all. Everything I've seen, well, I shouldn't say everything. Most things I've seen have been amazingly good.
So the plays you've seen so far, which one would you consider the best?
I think I'm going to have to go with the two guys that desperately want to be on TV just because they just grab you right off the top, and plus I get the jokes. It's not too deep. I really like them.
You know, I mean, I'm kind of crazy about this festival. I've seen 22 plays over the weekend. The one that I saw, I think, that still is the best is The Tragical History of Dr. Faustus, which is a Christopher Marlowe play from the 17th century, done in the language it was written in, from the English Suitcase Theatre Company. Kevin Williamson and Florence McGregor. She's playing Mephistopheles, and of course he's playing Faustus, the man who sells his soul to the devil for a kind of all-powerful knowledge. Now this is a wonderful scene in which he actually acts out and embodies all 7 of the deadly sins. And I think at this point we're at sin number 4. Now take a look at this. This is Fringe acting, I think, at its best.
Oh, goodness, right. And what I found, the fault, I am wrong. I had neither father nor mother. I leapt out of a lion's mouth when I was scarce an hour old, and ever since have run up and down the world, wounding myself with this case of rapiers when I could get none to fight withal. I was born in hell, and look to it, for some of you shall be my father.
You know, I have to admit that, thanks to the Strawberry Man, I eat a lot of fruit over here. I just love this stuff. Okay, I guess you're going to be sort of on your way seeing more plays today as I am, right?
Yep, more plays. Got to see more plays.
Do you know what you're going to see?
Well, I think I'll stick with the deep stuff, and I'll see the S-Files with my daughter today.
The S-Files. You know, I am actually going to see the S-Files before things are over. But I think I'm going to go and see, I'll see another 8 today. So when we talk again tomorrow, we will have seen more plays, and you'll have another Strawberry, and we'll have a chance to talk about them. So we'll be back on 24 hours, Laurie and I, tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.
Well, you've been waiting for it for months, and now it's here. The Winnipeg Fringe Festival has taken off in true Fringe fashion. There's something for everyone at this year's Fringe. Last night we showed you a humorous spoof. Tonight we show you a darker drama. Channel 5 photojournalist John Schneider recommends Telling Tales. a story about real people stuck in real dilemmas.
Oh, yes, you say you love me. And I think so.
Telling Tales was written by Jason Sherman, who uses the 5 scenes in this play to take aim at the world of theater.
My body, but my mind, my knees, and my desire. The play is kind of about the hypocrisy of theater. There's 5 scenes, and they're all very different. They're very different styles, very different subjects, but they all connect on one theme, which is theater. Is this what you want? Is it?
Push to the Side Productions is itself on the fringe of the Fringe Festival.
Well, we're in a bring-your-own-venue situation, which means that we actually didn't get in on the Fringe lottery. So if we wanted to do a show for the Winnipeg Fringe, we had to come up with our own space. Often we do film space, but we've had to get a hold of our own lighting and our own sound and do some painting and some general renovations that have turned it into a theater.
Is this what you do? Take your clothes off for anyone who asks? Huh? Ask for me.
Well, Bill is a director, a theater director, but he's slightly manipulative and a little full of himself, but not too much. He's not a villain. He's actually quite a real person, frightening himself. Now put your clothes back on and get out of here.
My character is auditioning for a part in this scene, and she really wants the part, but she's being asked if she would remove her clothes because the part is for a stripper. He also deals often with political matters, with religious matters. There's that mixed in there as well.
Go on, put him on! Put him on! Now get out.
If you want to see Telling Tales, it's playing at Venue 13, Room 305, Art Space Building. John Schneider, Channel 5 News.
I have a half-brother. I think he looks like this. He's living in Moscow now. I don't have his address. He's the king of Moscow. He's a big man there now. He'd take care of me if he knew where I was.
That's a scene from the Fringe play called The Bag Lady, which is one of the plays opening the 10th annual Fringe Festival tonight in Winnipeg. Robert Enright is our guide to the Fringe this year, as he has been in years past, and he joins me tonight. What a strong performance in that clip, and I know she's a favorite of yours as well.
Well, and one of the things about the Fringe that I love, even though I've seen over, I guess, 300 plays now in the last 9 years, is that I stumbled upon her very near the end of my week last year. I was looking for plays for the top 10, stumbled into the venue. Here was this thing called If Betty Should Rise. Whoever she was, I didn't know who she was. Her name actually is Rosie Freer-Dryden, knocked me out and was in the top 10. It looks like she's come back with a very strong play this year. The Fringe can do that for you. It can even, no matter how many plays you've seen, you can stumble upon that play that kind of starts your engines again, and she did it, and I know it's going to happen again this year because we've shot already 65 or 70 plays, sections from them, so I already have a sense of the shape of the Fringe without having seen the full plays.
And how many will you go to over the course of the...
I'll probably see 50 before I stop, and that gives you a real sense of what goes on. And you learn also by, of course, reading your wonderful Fringe book, and then word of mouth is one of the most important ways that you learn, and seeing the plays.
I know you want to show us some clips from the things that you've seen, so I'll let you get to that.
Yeah, what's happened over the last number of years is that some really good companies have come, and they continue to come back. One of them is the English Suitcase Theatre Company. Kevin Williamson has done wonderful work, and he's got 2 plays on at this Fringe, actually, and a world premiere tonight of a drastic and very funny play, apparently. And there's also a company from Naomi Cook that's doing Gertrude Stein and Alice B. Toklas, and what I saw of it, it looks exquisitely acted. And then there's a company from Montreal called Blue Whale. They have consistently brought good stuff to us, and this time they're doing a play about a biker and his mama. So let's take a look at what is called Bad Boy.
Okay.
My baby, she's smooth. I can go slow, I can go fast. I can even take her on a rough ride. I'm always thinking of her. In turn, she thinks of me.
Oh, yeah?
Well, you heard her.
Yeah, that purr. Like a cat.
Nah, like a pussy cat. Well, how's she feel?
Good. Naughty.
Oh, that's why they call her the bad boy.
You mean bad girl?
Ah.
Okay, it's a little different, but it's all pretty serious so far, and I'm thinking that the Fringe is usually the far side of theater, the really wacky stuff.
Oh, it still is. I mean, from Edmonton, 3 Dead Trolls in a Baggie have consistently brought very funny stuff, and from what I've seen, they're going to do that again. And the Royal Liechtenstein Theatre Company from Winnipeg have got a skit of a restaurant where everybody's very friendly that looks hilariously funny that's also going on.
Sounds like a bit of a nightmare.
It will be for people who work at that particular restaurant, I suspect, around the city. And also, of course, last year, the big hit of the Fringe, one of the top plays, and certainly the play that consistently sold out was a play by Rick Miller, where he took the Simpsons characters and did what he called Mac Homer, which was Shakespeare's Macbeth done with the characters from The Simpsons. He and his companion and co-worker are back, and this year they're doing 2 plays, one of which is a kind of clown play, which looks called Babaloo and the Noosh, which is very, very good. But he's also brought back The Simpsons, this time doing something more popular, the spectacular musical Les Mis. So let's take a look at Rick Miller doing The Simpsons, doing Les Mis.
Oh, no.
This is really funny.
One day more, another day, and you come with me. My little child won't be a casualty. If Javits ever found a herd neck to live a life in fear, I did not live until today. Now my diet has just started. Tomorrow you'll be worlds away. Within a week I will be bloated. Oh, one more day, then he'll be gone.
Wow.
He does all the drawings himself, so the slideshow going on behind him is also very funny.
Kidding.
Oh, yeah, he's actually trained as an architect. He did theater and architecture at Montreal. He's an enormously gifted man, and so is Stephanie Baptiste, who works with him. They're very good.
Now, which ones are you recommending for the novice of the festival?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. What I'm actually doing is, what I do for the first 3 days is I just act like a completely ridiculous consumer. I just look at the program, fit every play I can in, and indiscriminately. So, in fact, I'm going to see 3 tonight, which is as many as you can see, 11 on Saturday, and by the time I get back on our program on Monday, I'll probably have seen something like 27 plays. So
your eyes will be bugging out.
Well, and my mind may be mush. But you know, the good stuff rises to the top in this. That's what's so exciting about it.
Well, it sounds great. I envy you. I really do.
We'll see. When I'm through, you may not.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Speaking of the far side of theater, people all over the world have been looking at the far side of Mars.
Now, while Delaney is coming up with entertainment, here's a look at what she's got in store for you.
Oh, Marge is your sister, Bruce is your father, so any little children you're going to have with her are going to be with
Coming up to muse upon. Imagine, if you will, what would happen if the entire cast of Return of the Jedi was suddenly, for some reason, unable to make the movie. Now picture, if you will, that the cast of The Simpsons has been brought in as last-minute reminders. Now, this may be a little difficult for you or I to envision, but in the world of Bruce McNeil, it's already become a reality.
Somebody fetch me Lord Vader.
It's time! It's Vader time!
Better make that Lord burn.
I was a guitar teacher, and a lot of my students kept saying, oh, do Smithers, and do Burns, and do Homer, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I was always constantly pestered to be doing my voices. I thought, well, I might as well do something with them.
Why has the Death Star not been completed as planned?
Well, hi. Well, you see, we had some problems with the gallows and the generator was running and hiding, and, well, I took the glasses right off my head.
Out of curiosity, is there anyone here who is incompetent?
Now, you do some 60 voices. How do you sort of prepare yourself for this?
I yell a lot backstage just before the show. That's about all I do, really.
Is it a constantly expanding number?
Yeah, the more, if I can find a part from another character, I try and jam them in there one way or another. And, yeah, it's always a work in progress, I guess. We're actually able to name 100 different characters that have been on the show at one time or another, like cameo guest appearances and, you know, assistant policemen and stuff.
You look so good. Well, you know what, you're 10,000 years older than Stan. Now what do you want? Well, I just want to be here with. I want this, I want that. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Well, I tell you something, you ain't getting nothing out of me. Besides, Papa saw me to...
It's a lot of fun. There's lots of audience participation. It's just, like a roller coaster act that just doesn't stop.
Bruce McNeil will be playing Homer, Bart, Smithers, and so on, beginning Saturday at Venue 1 at 9 p.m. Well, for this next pursuit...
Best of the Fringe Theater Festival. next, right after this short break.
Art. What is art?
13 and you had a boyfriend with a bike.
Yep.
You've been with us all.
And here's a sample of what's coming up later in entertainment.
Sure. Yeah, what kind of sports do you like? Baseball. I like baseball.
Have much time to get the Fringe out of your system, but it appears that Winnipeggers took advantage of the great weather and talent. The Fringe Festival is celebrating an 11% increase in attendance this year, and here are some of the examples why.
You like sports?
Yeah, I like sports.
You like sports? I really like sports.
Sure.
Yeah, what kind of sports do you like?
Baseball.
You like baseball, eh? Me too.
Hey, okay. Just figuring out I don't know what you want me to say.
You got a favorite baseball team?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, who are they?
The new Toronto Blue Jays.
Who's that?
Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, just the last part of that.
Jays.
Oh, you like the Jays, do you?
Yeah.
You're a fan of the Jays?
Yes.
Yeah. Big fan of the Jays, aren't you?
Yeah.
Such a big fan, you try and bring him into your life every day. Hey, O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes me sick.
So you caught me.
Sunny days chasing the clouds away. On my way to where the air is clean. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? Thanks, Axel. Thanks very much, Axel. Be there if you've ever wondered whatever became of me. I'm living on the air in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's WKR.
Well, the Fringe Festival dumped 7 truckloads of sand in the Old Market Square this afternoon. They transformed the site into a beach for a safari party tonight, which officially kicked off with a celebrity volleyball tournament. The aim was to make the Fringe a more family-friendly environment, and families are invited to the Fringe Beach all day tomorrow and Sunday for free entertainment and activities.
Green is heat. 13 MPN. Go! We can take them! We have a replay on that?
This is the 10th anniversary for the Winnipeg Fringe Festival, so we decided to have a huge beach party to celebrate. So we brought in a lot of sand today, and all weekend long, we're going to have family activities all afternoon, and during the day, we'll have a volleyball beach tournament, and at night, we'll close it down and have music and bands here all night, late into the night.
Now, if you're looking for an
Well, if you can't make it to the beach this weekend, the Fringe Festival wants to bring the beach to you. Organizers of the theater festival are pulling out all the stops as the Fringe enters its final weekend. 7 dump trucks full of sand arrived this morning to turn the parking lot beside the Old Market Square into a giant sandbox. Beach volleyball will be the official sport this weekend as performers from across Canada and around the world compete against each other on a different stage.
4 tiny lakes are being installed later on today. So we'll bring the beach and the lake to Winnipeg because who wants to drive an hour and a half to Grand Beach anyway?
No, it looks hot out there. It's hot in here. It's hot and sticky every place.
Life's a beach in the Old Market Square.
Thanks a lot, Curtis. And life was a beach for the Bombers tonight also. Carlos is all worry.
Downtown Winnipeg experiences Fringe benefits. Good evening. The Fringe Festival isn't just entertaining. It means big business for merchants in the Exchange District. And as Naileen Rampersad explains, Fringe growers are injecting a lot of cash into the area.
This year, attendance at the Fringe is up over 11%. So far, 22,000 Fringers have descended on Old Market Square and the Exchange District to check out shows, and businesses in the area are loving it. Wayne, the Fringe has had a record year in attendance so far. How does that translate to business in around the Exchange District?
Well, I'm sure it has a very positive effect. I know there's a number of businesses that are very, very pleased with the amount of traffic that it generates and turning into, sales. In fact, in some locations, you might even say that the record attendance of the Fringe is turning into record sales for some of the businesses.
Tell me, how much busier have you been?
From last year, I can go by saying we're probably 35% busier than what we were. From month to month wise, we're probably about 45% wise better than we've been. June again is a sore month, but July with the Fringe always is a big month for us. And just from last year, it's up by about 30–35%.
It's been like Christmas every day for this store since the Fringe came to town. They've been so busy with Fringers that they've had to keep their doors open up until 11 or 12 at night.
They'll come in and take a look around, and usually when they come through the store, it's hard to resist on picking up something. So it's, as I say, it's just been terrific.
Do you have an approximate idea of how much sales have been up?
Actually, considering this is our first year in this location, and I would say we've probably doubled, if not tripled, our sales over the Osborne Village location in this time period.
The only complaint merchants have about the Fringe is that it only lasts for 1 week. In Winnipeg, Naylene Rapperstad, Pulse News.
Well, Fringe.
And when it's hot and humid like this, people in Winnipeg start to think about going to the beach. Organizers of the Fringe Festival want to keep people in town, so they brought the beach to Winnipeg. 7 loads of sand were delivered to Old Market Square today. That was enough to create an inland beach for Fringe goers. This evening you can attend the Fringe Festival and a beach party all in one without leaving the city. The first games of beach volleyball start any minute now, of course, weather permitting.
Today, straight in for your mortal soul. Spin the wheels, Denise.
I don't want
Spin the wheels, Denise. Oh, you've landed on
attraction.
For the rest of your life, you'll have power over any man you choose.
Any man at all.
Any sportscaster.
Or music performer.
Or movie personality you've ever had a crush on in your life will be eating on the palm of your hand.
That's a scene from Hell, a play produced by the Truth in Sandwiches Theatre Company from Winnipeg. It's an hour-long journey exploring the infernal workings of a place believers want to avoid. There are a number of plays dealing with those kinds of big questions. Our reviewers, Robert Enright and Laurie Hoogstraten, join us with their daily Fringe update from Old Market Square.
You know, I've noticed there's a lot of plays that deal with this ongoing battle between good and evil.
Yeah,
there's
that's
Hell,
right.
and then we saw one earlier today where it does the same thing, right? It's
Yep.
a play called Golgotha.
Yep, Golgotha, the Messiah thing. And actually, I didn't know what to expect with that play because I'd heard about the Messiah wandering around outside the Royal Bank building and so on. And it really wasn't quite what I expected, but I really enjoyed it. He was a kind of attractive, crazed Messiah person. I like that.
Actually, we have a scene from it in which this particular fairly youthful and pretty unusual Christ shows a more than human interest in Mary Magdalene. So here's that scene.
So I told him, I said, if I am the Son of God, then how can you refuse me? Judas cries and goes. Magdalene, she's hanging washing from a clothesline. She says nothing, furious with the clothespins. I stay and watch her. I love a woman's slender hands and arms. I love just under the chin of the young girl and the back of her neck. Her body is heaven. I am hell.
Boy, that kind of talk really got Scorsese into trouble when he made the film The Last Temptation of Christ. The whole idea that Christ has a body and desires. That's pretty...
That whole blasphemous thing he referred to in the Messiah in this play to Lazarus as having eyes the color of cream corn. That's not the usual way Lazarus is described.
Actually, I think one of the strong things about this play was the quality of the writing and the script, as well as the performance by Rodney DeCrew, which is really quite strong as well. There's another play that deals with this tension between good and evil, although it's decidedly on the evil side. This is a play called Hashish, which is set in a very decadent Europe in which the husband named Wolfgang and the wife named Simone lure young women into their embraces and then somehow dispose of them so they can get insurance money. Seems improbable, but it's a kind of intense and interesting play. So here's that scene from Hashish.
I thought your husband might have explained. Explain what?
I'm afraid Lucy's had a recent streak of bad luck.
I should say so. It's not that interesting a story, really.
Nonsense! Consider how common it is nowadays to have risen from the masses despite a twin sister stolen at birth by bloodthirsty bohemians, or a peculiar Uncle Augustus about whom the family never speaks.
It's nothing like that.
pate.
Oh, what's that it's on? The flesh of Christ made manifest.
Bread, actually.
Oh, no, thank you. I have this little problem with yeast. Oh.
Well, you know, what do you figure it is that this concentration on death and good and evil, where do you think that's coming from in these plays?
Well, Robert, we're all getting older, you know, and I think that's pretty much it. The baby boomers are getting old.
And worried about, I guess, the fact that we are all godless and have left God behind. I shouldn't speak for you necessarily, and so now we're searching for this ethical question about where good and evil resides. There's really a lot of plays to deal with it. There's also a very fine company from Seattle called Theater Simple, and they've done a play called The Master and Margarita, adapted from a Russian novel, and it also has God and the devil in it as well, and it's quite a remarkable scene. Here's a scene in which, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. A young man sees a young and beautiful woman, and the inevitable happens.
I was struck not so much by her beauty, but by the inconceivable loneliness in her eyes. I turned onto the side street as well, and we walked silently, she on one side, I on another.
Do you like my flowers?
No. Without warning, I realized that this was the woman I had loved my entire life. You think I'm insane?
I'm not thinking anything. Please, go on.
What? Don't you like flowers?
I do. I just don't like those flowers.
What kinds do you like?
I like roses.
I thought that Master and Margarita was really very strong.
Yeah.
What have you seen today that you really liked?
I saw something that I hadn't actually planned to see, and it's called Modern Love, and it's really good. It's sketch comedy, and the first sketch wasn't quite as strong as the next two, but they were really funny, and plus, you really like the people, which I often, lots of comedies, you're kind of cynical about them, but at the end I was kind of going, aw, you know, and it was good.
It's interesting. Speaking of liking people, there is a play, pardon me, by Ken Smedley called Romeo's Lore, which is a play in which you can't resist this wacky, crazy character who's telling the story about George Regas' plays, Canadian nationalism, and just about his own obsession. So take a look at this thing from Romeo's Lore, which is really strange.
Hey, you know, as a kid, I kept our house in mushrooms from June until September. My mother, she dried a few varieties for winter soup. Oh, which when she cooked it, was as black as ink. It had a sharp, peppery kind of taste to it. You know, when I ate that soup, I never had a cold. Mushrooms.
You know, I could use some of his mother's mushroom soup. I picked up a cold somehow. It's driving me crazy.
It's the air conditioning. You've got to go for those hot, steamy places. You'll be better.
Okay, indeed. Where are you? You're off to see something in a little while, aren't you?
Yeah, all our rock and roll heroes died while we were at cadet camp, I think it's called. The Australian guy?
Yeah, all right, and that's how it happened. Well, I'm going to go and see a woman about a Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Oh, I've heard of that one, but I'm an Electrolux type myself.
Well, you know, we part company on this sort of thing. So we'll see you tomorrow, same time? Okay, bye-bye.
Wow, they're at it again. That's one thing. I haven't done much fringing this year, but I do remember last year it being very hot in a number of the venues.
It always seems to be warm in the venues that I've been to anyhow.
So you want to take a piece of paper that you can fold up, make a little fan, and you may be okay.
That's right. The talent, the entertainment is worth it, though.
Mhm.
You can check out a play or two.
Well, we'll be back with more from the Fringe tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Good night.
You know, I've noticed that a lot of the plays this year are based on literary text in one way or another.
right.
You notice
Yeah.
that, for instance? English Suitcase Theatre Company is doing that very fine production of Dr. Faustus from the Christopher Marlowe play. The Theatre Simple from Seattle is doing a play based on a 1930s Russian novel.
Yeah, and then there's the Anais Nin and her erotica. And then there's a lot of sex involved also in the Fringe. Seems it's always that way. There's Lysistrata. Have you seen? We
That's
both
right.
saw that,
The
didn't we?
Lysistrata is very thing. It's the Eyewitness Theatre Company from England.
Right.
And Lysistrata was written, I don't know, 6th century BC. I'm not sure about the date. But what it's about is the first sex strike in the history of humanity in which the women, to get their men to stop waging war, decide to go on strike. And of course, Aristophanes is too honest to not realize that that's a two-way street. I mean, if women go on strike, they also don't get sex. And so in this scene, the women who have been deprived for a fairly long time watch an envoy come from another country. And here's how they react to the entrance of the male envoy.
What think you, Klinika? An envoy, perhaps? By his gait and demeanor, methinks he is equipped for the rites of Aphrodite. And what equipment!
I like that play. It was really bawdy and rowdy, wasn't it?
Funny. Yeah, I liked it. The quality of the acting was superb. And the play was really interesting, although I must admit that I thought it ended before it ended. There was this sort of serious scene. And I thought, well, that's a switch. And then they sort of all came back and got jolly again. But it was really excellent.
Yeah, and there's a couple of moments where they keep knocking over this one male character dressed as a woman, and it's the kind of slapstick that I don't think works. But generally, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't get a chance to see this afternoon. The play that so far of the 40 I've seen is head and shoulders the best. And this is a play called Gertrude Stein and a Companion.
I really want to see that.
Well, you've got to go and see it. Gertrude Stein, of course, was the great writer, the American writer who lived in Paris in the 1920s. And her companion, she was a gay woman, was a woman named Alice B. Toklas, who's best known, I guess, for brownies laced with dope from the 60s. But that's not what this play's about. What this play's about is about this extraordinary relationship between these two unusual women. And it's Naomi Cook and her production company, just a two-hander. Here's a scene in which we see what Alice B. Toklas is like as she comes in later in life. This is a gorgeous play.
Dearest, I've sent the chairs to Yale. I'm trying not to hate. Hate the chairs? Yes, the needlepoint chairs, the ones Pablo drew the designs for.
I suppose I remember them. Yes, of course I do.
Rivita cannot get her hands on them now. They are gone beyond her reach. And beyond mine. Almost everything has. Apart from certain memories.
Boy, that's a beautiful play. It's very moving. I mean, there are people who you could hear them sort of sobbing at certain points, and it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, by the way, how many plays in this festival deal with the experience of women?
Yeah, I have. I don't know why that is particularly.
I don't know. I figured, what, 54% of the world? I mean, it's about time.
Could be it, about
I
time.
just came out of one of them, actually, Sensible Footwear from England, where they do a kind of parody of being 40. Very funny performance, and in fact, completely sold out. They had to add chairs again. Have you seen anything at all?
I saw a very funny women-based thing as well. It's called Sorority Sisters Slumber Party, The Massacre, the Musical, something like that. Sold out, standing ovation, and a very, very excellent cast. They sang, they danced, everyone laughed, and it was really good and really funny.
Yeah,
sort of a cult thing almost.
Yeah, I know. They're a very polished kind of troupe. They get lots of laughs per square minute, don't they?
Sure do, yeah.
There's also, I mean, there's a lot of weird plays at this festival. One of the most unusual ones is a very solid performance and well-written piece called Mamakin. And what it's about is about a woman who is having difficulty cutting the umbilical cord from her mother's influence. And quite literally throughout the entire play, she has a huge umbilical cord that's like a...
I saw the poster. She's all kind of wrapped
wound
in
around
this
him.
thing. Yeah, like
Well, here's the scene in which she actually is young Sam being born. And there's no point trying to describe it. You really have to see this. This is pretty pyrotechnical.
Okay.
Take a look. Boy, that makes me feel very strange
Me
watching
too,
that thing.
me too.
Why?
Well, it gives me sort of memories of childbirth, but from a slightly different perspective than we saw in that one. Like,
It does.
yeah.
Well, we're going to continue to see plays as we've done all week. What are you going to catch tonight?
Master Margarita, and then something called the Red River Valley of the Dolls.
Oh, that's at the Underground Cafe, which is one of the many venues that are not sort of traditional venues here
Right,
at the festival.
and I like the title.
Yeah, very nice title.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go and see Bad Boy by the theater company from Montreal that I've liked for years at the festival, and I'm quite looking forward to that, among other plays. And tomorrow, of course, we're on with our top 10 Fringe list, which is a venerated tradition here at the Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
So, are you ready for the night?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, have fun, of course, Robert.
Here's a look at what we have waiting for you in entertainment. We have a look at a couple of one-man acts from the Fringe Festival. First, a funny but sadly true tale of survival and high adventure in the wilds of Canada. It's based on improbable actual events in one man's career while on survival training in the Air Force.
And get the blanket of horrible death on. I mean, if I survive a plane crash and I want a fire, I'll just stand here and burn an airplane wreck. I mean, I took an English degree.
daring things, all the while dazzling the poor, unknowing brown folk with our skill, bravery, and shining white teeth.
Next, a one-man show called FPM. It's about Timothy's first year of gender change from female to male, and that's juxtaposed with his mother's identity change due to breast cancer. Their stories are woven together through dreams and anecdotes in this piece. Here's a look.
I'm a female-to-male transsexual. He looks lost for a moment and then says, "Gee, I'm sorry," as he gives me a man-to-man jab in the shoulder. Here, I've been trying so hard to look masculine. What was it? Was it my face? I had stubble, but nothing significant. What about my chest? My jog bra was holding everything in. But it was the largest size, so it didn't flatten me out as much. What about my voice? It's a lot lower. It's still sounding pretty pubescent. But this guy saw pretty lady before I even opened my mouth. What was he looking at?
Now on to something a bit more cultural at the Fringe. Fubuki Daiko is traditional and contemporary Japanese drumming where the musicians use both large and small drums. Our camera caught up to this act at the outdoor stage in the Old Market Square.
You have a chin on. It's going to be great. We'll see you again in September.
Festival. For a Celtic taste, Kilo is a contemporary yet traditional Irish Celtic music. And here's a look. Well, this next Fringe act is a bit dangerous, and a warning, while they're hurling fire around the stage, you might not want a front row seat. Well, if you're a fan of CBC's Definitely Not the Opera, you'll recognize this next performer, Rainer Hirsch. After a solo performance at last year's Fringe, he's back with a vengeance with his comedic show, All Classical Music Explained, The Master Class.
Winnipeg summer tradition. Well, the Fringe is known for its zany characters and bizarre plot lines, but this Fringe piece is a bit off the wall. Sorority Girls Slumber Party Massacre. The musical's about cruel sorority sisters, innocent young wannabes, and an insane killer stalking them all. All of this is wrapped up with musical-style singing and dancing. Let's see what it's all about.
Probably just Piper and some of her bimbos.
Are you sure?
No.
There it is again! Stay here. I'll go take a look. Don't do that. It'll just take a minute.
Then I'm going with you.
No! Piper can't see the two of us together.
Oh, right. Hurry then.
Don't be afraid. There is nothing here that can hurt me. Don't.
Now with Vim Cream with Quebec is revolting and it makes me mad. Ontario sucks. Ontario sucks.
A tracking device installed.
Tired and extremely happy. Organizers of the 10th Annual Fringe Festival say this year tops all. Organizers say a record number of tickets were sold for the Safari Fringe Theater Festival and a new record was set for overall attendance. Over 42,000 tickets were sold for indoor shows, an 18% increase over last year, and over 45,000 theater fans checked out the shows in Old Market Square. That's 19% up. The event also sold double the amount of frequent Fringer passes, 800, and had 83 sellout shows. Now, if you missed some of the excitement, the festival isn't over. 3 companies have held over for 6 shows at MTC Warehouse.
They're too cold. And the only really good thing about the province of British Columbia is that it's right next to us. Because Alberta doesn't suck. But Calgary does.
Those shows happen at 7 to 9 Tuesday through Thursday. The shows are Art and Lester B. Pearson's World of Hypnosis. Bertram Schneider, the main Fringer, says a big thanks goes out to the hard work and commitment of the volunteers. They couldn't do it without you. Well, music takes...
Well, organizers of the Fringe Festival were making merry today when it was announced the record number of tickets were sold for this year's event and a new record was set for overall attendance. But they can't sit back on their laurels just yet because some acts have proved so popular that they're being held over. We're going to be dropping by one such show tonight on Live on Lombard, but that is...
Good news for organizers and local businesses tonight as the closing ceremonies for the Fringe Festival get underway. Today is officially the last day, and again, there was a great turnout. We say again because attendance is up 15% over last year. And while final figures aren't in, this year's Fringe is on pace to break the 1993 attendance record. While the festival may be over officially, you can still see shows during the week. Just give the Fringe Festival office a call. Well, I think it's safe to say it's the cute.
The festival continues at several venues around the city, and it looks like people are turning out in record numbers this year. Ticket sales are up more than 10% so far over last year's opening weekend. There's one reason why. The Lion of Wooden is being staged for young and old alike at the MTC Warehouse venue. This musical production features more than a dozen local actors ranging in age from 6 to 14. It's one of 3 local productions for kids at this year's Fringe Festival, and just in time if your kids are getting a little restless on their summer vacation. Here's a quick look at The Lion That Wouldn't.
Festival organizers will find out later tonight if this year's event has broken all attendance records. According to sales figures from last night, there have been over 38,000 ticket sales. That surpasses last year's attendance record by 15%.
Organizers are confident this week's festival will surpass the 1993 record of just over 40,000. Great weather, talent, and lots of community involvement are credited for the success. The new
The 10th anniversary Fringe Festival, the jury of two, us two, is in, and
tonight, the top 10 on 24 hours.
watch it, you'll be surprised.
Winnipeg.
I've never seen a woman with such a violent temper. If I'd been off guard, she might have cut me. Or even wounded me seriously. But I am Tajamaru, the famous bandit.
Well, there's been lots of entertainment this week. All week long, Robert Enright and Laurie Hoogstraat have been checking out the plays at this year's Fringe Festival. Between the two of them, they've seen the vast majority, and over the week, they've told us about some of them. But with just days left in the festival, theatergoers may just want the facts. Which ones are worth seeing? So here are Robert and Laurie with their top 10 picks. They join us from Old Market Square.
Well, Laura, I mean, here it is, the final weekend of the Fringe. Yeah. The tickets that are desirable are getting harder to get. There's a certain look of desperation in the eyes of those Fringe performers who want to get those closing audiences before they go off to Saskatoon and Edmonton.
That's right, and you can also see the people in the lineup. They're not moving, they've got their tickets, and they don't care how hot it is, they're going to see the show.
But there's still plenty to see over the next 3 days, so we don't want to give you the indication that there's not a reason to come out here. We might as well get right on with the list, right?
Let's go right into it.
We've seen between the two of us some 65 plays.
I've seen the most, way more than Robert, way more.
I've seen 50, she's seen 20-some. Now, that's not bad. So we're going to base it on that. So understand that it's not an exhaustive list, although it has been reasonably exhausting for the two of us.
Yeah.
The number 10 choice is a play called Bag Lady, which is a very moving play about a woman whose life is a rubble of memories.
I have a half-brother. I think he looks like this. He's living in Moscow now. I don't have his address. He's the king of Moscow. He's a big man there now.
Boy, that's a strong performance.
Yeah, performance is the keynote of tons of these, and there's been so many strong performances, and that's what makes it tough to pick, but we'll see more of that later.
We will indeed. You know, the 9th choice for the top 10 is an unusual one. It's a dance piece called Sky Dream by Marie Osanai from Tokyo. 33 minutes of absolutely exquisite movement, the likes of which I've never seen before in any North American theater. This is really a must-see, and it's a complete sleeper.
Well, maybe we should get right to number 8, which is called Lysistrata, and this was a really good play. This is based on the Aristophanes satire about how women can achieve peace by putting on the very first sex strike, and it was a wonderful performance. Great acting, really funny, and we both really liked that one, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Oh, my 75th niece is my husband. Oh, well then, Mary, practice deception. Cunning.
You know, the number 7 spot is actually shared by two groups. Two individuals. Yeah. One called A Delightful Romp with Roman Danilo.
And it was a delightful romp. This was a very funny show. Stand up, and very talented guy, and lots of improv. I thought the lady in the chair beside me was really going to fall off. She was hysterical with laughter.
Well, it's a very good show, and it shares number 7 spot with another one-man show that is both funny and very poignant as well. This is a piece called Super Ed, and the comedian is from Edmonton. These are the best 2 young comedians I've seen in at least 5 years here at the Fringe Festival.
But, you know, before he died and all, it was a beautiful day. I mean, he was a man, my dad, and I was helping him do a manly thing, you know, fixing something. He was happy, singing those Air Supply songs he used to sing. And I had my Fisher-Price tool belt on. It was a beautiful day.
From number 7, which is comedy, to something that is deeply and darkly serious in number 6, this is a piece called Virtual Solitaire by a man from Seattle. Take a look at this play.
You're new around here, huh? I mean, not just to me, to the whole department. You don't need to answer that. Look, I work alone. I work fast, and I really don't have time to give piggybacks right now. So if you find me abrasive or think you can't keep up, why don't you do us both a favor? Let the Sarge know now.
Boy, that's an incredible performance in a 110-minute long piece.
Did it seem that long?
Well, in a way, I think it's almost too much performance and too many characters. But he's a remarkable performer, that guy, and I think it's unlike anything I've seen. You know, the quality of acting is something that leads us to the number 5 piece as well, because this was a two-hander called Bad Boy, about a hooker, exotic dancer, and her motorcycle boyfriend that is really got a performance that just stops your heart. Bad Boy is number 5, and it's without question the toughest play of the Fringe that I saw.
My baby, she's smooth. I can go slow, I can go fast. I can even take her on a rough ride. But I'm always thinking of her. In turn, she thinks of me.
Oh, yeah?
Well, you heard her.
Yeah, the purr. Like a cat.
Nah, like a pussy cat. Well, how's she feel?
Good. Naughty.
Boy, that's a sizzling performance from Olga Montes in Montreal.
Yeah.
What do we got for number 4?
It's another tie. This is 4th place tie, and it's Rick Miller with 2 plays. Baboon Ganoush we'll see in a minute, but this is art.
One day more! Another day and you come with me! My little child won't be a casualty! If Javik ever found he heard they can live a life in fear, I dare not live until today!
Les Mis by The Simpsons, and there's lots of other stuff in that particular piece too, like Michael Jackson's tribute album. But the other half of number 4 is, of course, Baboon Ganoush.
Baboon Ganoush. And it's also a collaboration with his partner, Stephanie Baptist, who's in both of the plays in art. And in this one, she plays this wonderful clown called Ganoush. I found this a heartbreaking little thing. It's so endearing, these two characters. It's about a friendship between two completely improbable individuals. So here's a scene from what I think is one of the real delights of this festival, Babaloo and Ganoush. I love it.
Oh, that's nice. But now, in the number 3 spot, it's another double winner, the English Suitcase Company, with...
Well, they brought 2 difficult plays here in some ways. Rashomon is probably the most courageous play of the festival. It's balanced between a kind of static Japanese quality and a fearsome violence is really quite remarkable. But the play that I want to show you a clip from is The Tragical History of Dr. Faustus, in which Faustus, who sold his soul to the devils, embodies the 7 deadly sins. And here's a scene in which he becomes those sins in his own being. It's just wonderful.
Serve thyself, glutton, and what art thou? Hey, I am slow. I was begotten on a sunny bank, where I have lain ever since, and you have done me great injury to bring me from thence. Let me be carried thither again by gluttony and lechery. I'll not speak another word for a king's ransom.
Boy, that Kevin Williamson can act. Holy man.
Amazing, yeah.
So we're getting down now. This is number 2,
number
right?
Number 2, and this is actually my number 1, but I'm deferring to Robert, who has seen 5 million plays. I'm only seeing 4 million, and this is number 2. And it's The Master and Margarita by Theater Simple. They're from Seattle, and this is a Babbo play.
Like a murderer leaping out of an alleyway, love sprang and struck us both at once.
It wasn't like that at all. We had loved each other forever without ever having met. I was married to another man and went out that very day with the hideous yellow flowers so that you would find me. And if you hadn't, I would have poisoned myself and ended my empty life.
Wow. Pretty good, eh? That's real theater to me. Dramatic, subtle, very professionally done, beautiful, spooky, romantic.
And adapted from a very complicated novel as well. I mean, this is really a text brought to life in ways that make the Fringe exciting, which, by the way, is sort of our number 1 choice as well. I mean, I know if you'd seen this, it would be your number 1.
I agree.
Easily the best play of the Fringe. Naomi Cook's wonderful version of a play called Gertrude Stein and the Companion, about that wonderful pair of women living in Paris in the 20s. This is moving, beautifully acted, and just about the best thing I've seen in a long time at the Fringe, anniversary year or not.
Is there really an Alice B. Talkless? The reporters would ask me. And I would laugh. You can be sure there is, I told them. There is, most certainly. She is... And there she is. Puss.
The knee is better, much better.
That is good. Very good indeed.
Gertrude Stein and the Companion. a loving play about a pair of remarkable women, and I'll tell you, I'd sell my paintings to get a ticket to see this one again.
Cheap Picasso's, eh?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I could buy the Fringe. Well, that's it, eh? That's our top 10.
Yeah, it's tough to pick a good top 10 because there were a lot of really good plays.
That's right. And in fact, there were so many good plays. As of tomorrow at noon, if you call this number, you can get what we're adding on as our kind of Fringers dozen, which will be 12 or 13 additional plays that have all kinds of things to recommend them. They just didn't quite cut it for our first 10. So thanks for helping me out. It's been really fun.
Thank you. I enjoyed it too.
We'll probably do it again next year in this venerable tradition of the top 10 on 24 hours. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, you two. Coming up. If you have been with us all this week, you know that Robert Enright has been helping Fringe goers with some reviews of the latest plays he's seen. There's been a lot of people calling in looking for the top 10 again, so we're going to give you an abbreviated version. Here it is. Starting at number 10, Bag Lady is about a woman whose life is a rubble of memories. Number 9 is Sky Dream, a 33-minute journey into the eroticism of movement. Robert's number 8 pick is Liza Strata, the story of the world's first sex strike.
Oh, my 75th niece is my husband.
Well then, Mary, practice deception. Cunning.
A pair of comedies are tied for number 7, Roman Danilo and Super Ed. Robert's number 6 pick is Virtual Solitaire, a play that's part murder mystery, part cyber trip, and part journey into the poetry of the future.
Fine. You know, Stuart Vincent owns about half the retail in town. His son, Phil, is dead. I wouldn't particularly care except for the fact that I got assigned the case, so now it's not Stuart's problem anymore. It's mine, and now yours.
At number 5 is Bad Boy, which Robert says is the Fringe's toughest play. 2 plays are tied at number 4, Art and Babaloo and Ganoush. Number 3 is a tie between Rashomon and the tragic history of Dr. Faustus. Number 2 is The Master and the Margarita. This play is set in the 1930s in Russia.
Out of thousands of people, she saw only me. I was struck not so much by her beauty, but by the inconceivable loneliness in her eyes. I turned onto the side street as well, and we walked silently, she on one side, I on another.
Do you like my flowers?
No.
And number 1 is a play with an exceptional performance by Naomi Cook. It's called Gertrude Stein and a Companion.
Dearest, I've sent the chairs to Yale. I'm trying not to hate.
Hate the chairs?
Yes, the needlepoint chairs. The ones Pablo drew the designs for.
I suppose I remember them. Yes, of course I do.
Rivita cannot get her hands on them now.
And if that wasn't enough for you, here's another one. Local writer Bruce McManus has chosen Better Looking Boys as the best new play of the festival. The play looks at the lives of 4 gay men who live in Winnipeg's Osborne Village. The play was also chosen as one of Robert's Fringer's dozen. For a list of those plays, call the number at the bottom of your screen. Its voicemail is at 788-3793. 788-3793. Still ahead on 24 Hours.
More good news. It's going to go down as one of the most successful Fringe festivals in its 10-year history. More people came to the Fringe Festival in Winnipeg this year than ever before. And as Chris Armstrong reports tonight, performers say Winnipeg's Fringe is the best in the land.
They're packing up and breaking down the sets. Venues once filled with actors and audiences are now empty shells. But this year's Fringe created some lasting impressions.
And they're off!
The 2-week run of the Fringe was more successful than ever before. Ticket sales up 6,000 over last year. Attendance was up 18%. That translates to 87,000 people making their way to the Fringe, putting Winnipeg second behind Edmonton as North America's most popular Fringe.
This year we were treated to such a great number of high-quality performances, and that was a treat. I mean, 35 of the companies in the festival had at least one sellout performance. It's a third of the companies had a sellout.
Bertram Schneider is the Fringe's executive director. He says the reason for the jump in attendance is simple: a wide variety of plays.
We've got the cutting-edge stuff. We've got some of the really nasty, dirty little theater, but we've got, you know, this year we had 4 kids shows that were specifically for kids that were doing really, really well. We had all sorts of great family stuff. We had classical, musical, and avant-garde. So it is a great variety, and that's our strength.
Overall, the talk on the circuit of the actors, this is the actors' Fringe.
Paid interactive
Kaylin Rashke performed in Lady and the Hoover.
I'm a good businesswoman.
This actor has performed at 7 different Fringe festivals across North America, but she thinks Winnipeg is the best, even better than the one in her hometown of San Francisco. She says organizers treat actors right. Because of that, some actors like herself only perform here. She says Winnipeg audiences are brighter and more appreciative.
You have an enthusiasm that starts, and people start talking, and you get an energy going, and even people who like normally wouldn't come and see a show are like, oh, well, yeah, gee, maybe I'll come and try it.
Unfortunately for the Fringe, the increase in popularity doesn't always translate into more money. Most of the money goes back to performers. In fact, the Fringe's budget hasn't increased in 5 years. Organizers say the challenge for the Fringe in the future will be to continue to offer good plays within its budget. Chris Armstrong, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It was a record-breaking year as well. There was something like 42,000 tickets sold and more than 87,000 people in attendance, so what a one to miss. But anyway, as a bit of a consolation for we who missed out, or for even for those who just can't get enough of the festival, then there is something in store for us. There are still some shows to be seen, as this is Holdover Week. We spoke to one of the chosen few.
I love you 'cause you're scared of me. I love you 'cause you're meek. I love you 'cause you're insecure, unconfident, and weak. Some people think it's a power trip, but I don't give a damn.
We're all sitting here amongst all this stuff from everybody else's Fringe shows, which are finished. So how come you've got to be held over?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if they went by ticket sales or probably not.
Politics.
Yeah, that's right.
Politics, eh? We just lobbied hard. We lobbied in our fan club, I think, probably mailed in.
You're overweight, but that's okay. Come on and have another cake. Oh, I will be your better half, and you can be my worst. I'm going drinking, baby, so I took the money from your purse. I love
Really
you.
important is it offers, I think, more people a chance to see the show.
Right,
Because
yeah.
I think what's important is that the people see the show, and Donovan, I know, feels very strongly about this, because it's got so much to say.
We're hoping people will learn more about hypnosis.
And,
you know, so people can sit in a room, 300 people,
And judge for themselves.
what hypnosis and Lester B. Pearson
Yeah,
is all
just
about.
who is this Lester B. Pearson, right? And, you know, like...
And what did the B stand for?
World of Wonder, where we look at parts of the world that still aren't part of America. Tonight we visit Canada, the Canadian part of
Donovan and I went down to the States quite a bit doing improv, and we met people that said a lot of those kind of comments. Like, we met a guy that was like, oh, you guys have your own money and everything.
So you got your own little country up
It's
there.
kind of like a little country. And it's like, yeah, a lot of places in the world actually are kind of like their own little country there.
Canadians have their own money and everything. Here we see a Canadian $1 bill sporting a portrait of Wayne Gretzky. Because of something called...
That feels actually pretty slick, and we worked really hard on making it good.
Yeah. What you won't really show in those 2 bits, but, you know.
In the theater, it looks a lot better.
We'll just have to take their word for that one. You can see Lester B. Pearson's World of Hypnosis from tomorrow to Thursday at the NCC Warehouse. Also held over is But Is It Art by he of Mukhoma fame, Rick Miller. Well, the next festival that everyone is going to be talking about is, of course...
Congratulations, Manitoba. Your stories made it possible.
Closed captioning of tonight's program is provided by the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
Good evening, everyone. Here is a warning. The following episode of Comics is completely improvised. It is another fine showing by our Canadians competing in comedy against the rest of the world, particularly the Europeans. Right now, we take you live to the stage.
Because they can't be bothered to write it down. Here's Atomic Improv.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
How's everybody doing? I'm Paul. This is Donovan. We're Atomic Improv. Everybody all right? Everybody okay? Is anybody doing anything? Good. For those, how many people here have seen any kind of improv before? By applause. Any of you? Some of you? It's good. They spread you out all over the place. It's not everybody, but you're not all in one section. For those of you that haven't seen any kind of improv or seen us before, everything we do is made up on the spot, right, Donovan? Yeah. Yeah. It's all gonna be that slick. It's all based entirely on your suggestions. We got to get you guys used to yelling stuff out, and then we do scenes based on it. So just as a test to see how many people are into this, if I asked you guys for something really easy like a room in the house, then we do a scene on it. But this is just a test. So on the count of 3 from everyone here, can I just get a room in the house? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was good. About half. You got that. That's good. And one guy was a little early, but that's okay. Think about baseball. Think about baseball. There we go. All right, so you guys got the idea. The more stuff you yell out, what, Donovan? Funnier the show is. That's right, and what happens if they don't yell out anything? We suck! So there you are. That's our, oh, there we go. That's our problem, but it's still a beautiful set to look at, so you're okay. So we're gonna start off with what we call an arms expert. Now, Donovan's gonna be an expert on a topic, and I'm gonna be his arms. Can we get from you guys anything you'd like to hear someone speak about? Any topic at all? Bike building. What was that right there? Bike building. Bike building. Oh, highly specialized, and he's very certain about it, too, eh? Okay, anything else? What's that over there? A trip to the dentist. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't think of more exciting topics. All right, so we'll do bike building and a trip to the dentist. You want to combine those two things? Yeah, I really do. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Donovan is going to... What's that, sir? And bodybuilding. Yeah, let's throw that in there. What the hell, Make it that much easier. Okay, so Donovan's going to talk about, he's going to talk about a trip to the dentist, bike building, and maybe bodybuilding if he has time for it. Birth control. Okay, no, that's fine. Or do you just mean like we're good poster childs for why you should have it? Birth control. All right, so here we go. Donovan's going to be an expert in those two things. I'm going to be his arms. Here we go. So it was trip to the dentist and building bikes. Yeah. Here we go. Maybe some bodybuilding.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Joe. I'd like to welcome you to the first annual International Bike Convention. Woo, bikes! Yeah! Woo, woo, woo! Yeah! Bikes! Ding, ding, ding! Woo! I salute you. Okay. I love you. It's a lovely day, so I just want to get going right off. The 2 things I want to talk to you today about that really made me a better person. Me, a better. The first thing I want to talk to you about is building bikes. Now, a lot of people wonder, they say, Joe, where the hell did the word bicycle come from? 4 words. 4 words were smashed together to make bicycle. Woo, bicycle! Yeah, ding, 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 ding. Okay. The worst word is bleh, which is from the Cree Indian word, which means uncomfortable on the seat. The second, woo, ding, ding, okay. The second word is ice. Ice, which is from the Newfoundland word ice, be all around the bay, and I still don't have a friggin' job. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, the third word is ick, which is from the Swedish word which means fasting on 2 wheels to catch the herring. I don't know, I didn't make it up. The fourth word is which is English for cool. So basically, that's bicycle. Now, I'm not just here to talk to you about bicycles or how they may get together. I'm here to talk to you about dentistry. That's right, and a trip to the dentist. Ding, 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 on my bicycle. Walk up and when you go to the dentist, two things, 5 things you should know. Number 1, always brush before you head out the door. Because you don't want no stinky ass breath. Halitosis, you don't want that. Number 2, ride your bike and open your mouth. That way it'll dry your mouth out so he doesn't have to use that suction thing as much. Number 3 and 4 we'll just skip. You know, they're pretty obvious. And the 5th thing, does anybody know what the 5th thing is? Anyone? myself, but I'm going to explain how flossing and bicycle building combined with bodybuilding. 400 years ago, the Mesopotamians were invading the Albanians, and they were on the battlefield of Burgai, and they said, "Oh, you bastard, I'll get you!" And the other guy said, "Well, bring it on, baby!" The problem was that they didn't have any way to cross the Badopian River. So what are they gonna do? So they use their heads. They took the tire off the first bicycle, threaded it with a bunch of floss, and started pedaling up a MacGyver-like rope. And then they wound it up and put all the guys in a big lasso, and they caught on fire. Well, I don't know. It's in a book. I don't know if anybody has any quick questions about bicycle repair or oh, the Mesopotamians were pretty muscular, too. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, just shout it out.
Why is the sky blue?
Why is the sky blue? That's a good question, sir. It has to do with the ocean. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am?
Is it hard to floss and ride?
Oh, good. Now, see that sky blue. What do you think? Now, that's a question. Is it hard to floss and ride? Yes and no. The Canadian military has spent billions of dollars building aerodynamic floss. Now, a lot of people haven't heard of this because it was canceled by Diefenbaker in the 50s. I mean, we had an edge on those Americans. We had it. Ding, ding, ding. Anyway. And so what you do is you gotta move from left to right like you're paddling a kayak, and you zigzag like you're drunk, but it'll work pretty good. I salute you. Well, I'd like to leave you with this little limerick, if I could, about the dentist and building a bicycle. One day I was on a bike, and I said, I like. So I went to floss my teeth, and I pulled a knife from its sheath, and that's my story, I'm Mike. Thank you.
There you go, Donovan Workin, ladies and gentlemen. Donovan Workin. What are we doing now there, Donovan?
Bell game.
Oh, we're going to do what we call a bell game. This is good. We actually need one person from the audience. You get to come up on stage and ring this bell. Anyone want to come up? It's real easy. Sure, how about this person right here in the front row? Put your hand up. You missing the dress. Sure, what's your name?
Joyce.
Joyce. Have it out for Joyce. Here she comes, Joyce. Ladies and gentlemen, Joyce. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she Joyce? Donovan will explain this to you, Joyce. I'll explain it to everybody else, okay? We're going to start off in English. Every time she rings that bell, we're going to go into a foreign language. So it's any foreign language. Polish is indeed a foreign language. Everybody else, you need to get out more, all right? Try watching A&E. They always have documentaries about other countries. Okay, so we're going to do Polish. What's something they do in Poland that's unique to their culture?
Sausage.
Sausage.
Yeah, they don't have that anywhere else.
Only in Poland. All right, so we're gonna start off in English. Every time she rings that bell, we're gonna go into Polish back and forth. It's about Polish sausage. Do you understand?
You got her?
Can you ring that for us as a test?
Hold it close.
Hold it close. Try again.
Hold it flat.
There we go. Oh, beautiful. Yes, here we go. She rings, we salivate. That's the gig. Little Pavlov joke for you. All right, so we're gonna, here we go. Polish sausage, starting off in English. When she rings the bell, we go into Polish. Here we go. Polish sausage.
Ooh, my belly is aching this morning for some fine Polish sausage. I shall go down to the deli and find some.
It's closed.
What?
Yeah!
The delis have all been closed, but how am I going to get my fine sausage?
You will have to go talk to the governor up in the castle.
And knock 3 times on the ceiling if you love me.
You go talk to the governor, I will stay behind.
All right, I will see you.
Be careful.
Okay. Oh, la, la. My fine leather patent shoes. Oh, la, la. The governor's all...
Who seeks entrance to the office of the governor of all of Poland?
Governor, я хочу планиці, а єхида знаю, що єхида. На іці я хочу плешна єгічі.
Трочі трочо, нарапечі трочі, торопонче трочі, чічо, ропі, чоки, трочі, трочі, no service. I'm sorry, that's the rules. You gotta have shoes, I can't let you in.
But I was wearing my fine patent leather shoes on the way here. Someone is sportno ici, a єхида вас.
Nichinoyo, nichinoyo, torochi, norotochi, totorochi, ondorochi, tochi, rochi, ondorogocho.
I wondered where my watch went.
There we go. Something funny is going on in this country.
You are right. It must be the strange old man on the hill.
Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking. Why don't you go talk to him? You will be the hero. Don't you know? Nidora chino ching taro chonnai rochi tono choti rocho tochi tocho.
Yachidishna yehuda planasia yehuda the famed sausage knife.
Yes, that is right. Slay him and free our town.
I will. Beware, old man on the hill. The king of the sausage is here.
I am an old man. Oh no, it's the king of the sausage.
Na yehuda planitia nachia shoto doblarichi yehuda
Tochi locho rochi I tochi poncho rocho kochi toch. You're from a different part of Poland. Yes, it is true that, but you're watching your shoe and took all your sausages because I am old and have not long to live, and so I wish to make the whole world unhappy.
Oh, do not make my yehuda. A yehuda snaya yehuda plaza. Baro hudu pusnuchi a yehuda do yehuda planuchi a yehuda shoto khone puna yeshiti a yehuda. A yehuda pusnuchi a yehuda plaznochi a yehuda planitsky and that's that's the story.
Never before has someone been so kind to me.
Let me cut you some of that fine sausage.
Yes, and from now on, the sausage knife will be used for peaceful activities.
Da yehides na yehuda plaznaci a yehida planuya shita yehuya mati. The moral I've learned from this?
Say it again. My ears are old and I didn't hear it the first time.
I said, let no man fight for the sausage, for let the sausage be the links of happiness. Na yehida plazuchi. A yehida planuyichi. Ya yehida planuchi. A yehida fle. Or yehubla nijichi. A yehida. Or the goat will be pregnant on Tuesday.
There you go. Yeah, for dropping us out.
On our...
We're gonna do what we call a fairy tale scene from you, for you now. We want to get from you guys just any fairy tale your parents told you when you were a little kid. Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk from like the two people that. Oh, that's a good one too. Well, let's do Cinderella because I heard it first. So what? Can we also get from you guys your favorite section of the video story, your favorite type of movie? What's that? I heard horror.
Yeah. Rambo.
Rambo. The whole Rambo section is good, isn't it?
1, 2, 3, and
And all the Rocky movies.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do I heard horror and Cinderella. So we'll do that. We'll do the Cinderella horror version of Cinderella. So here we go. Cinderella as a horror film right here for your entertainment.
Here I am, poor Cinderella, stuck here, scrubbing the floor, cleaning all the blood and guts,
Cinderella, it's me, your evil, inbred, backwoods stepsister.
What happened to the other two?
I ate them! Listen, I'm going to the big, special, scary ball, and you can't come.
What?
You gotta stay here and clean the blood and the gore off the floor. Oh, don't cry.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'll see you later. And hey, don't eat any of my food out of the fridge.
Okay.
It's not scary, but it would sure bug me.
Yeah, I understand. Oh, here I am, the most beautiful girl in the land, scrubbing the floor. Oh, how I wish I could go to the big picnic ball.
Poof!
What?
It is I, Satan.
Oh, hi.
How you doing? Poof. Sorry about that. Sulfur, let me open a window. So, you wish to go to the big evil ball?
Oh, yeah, I want to go and drink that yucky punch.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
It's from McDonald's. It's gross. All right, you may go, but if you don't come back by midnight, I'll kill you.
Really?
Yeah.
for the bus.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Well, I'm wearing the most beautiful gown a girl could find. I'll go to the ball. La 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 la.
It is I, the Prince of Evil.
How you doing?
I used to run Poland, but they kicked me out.
Let's dance.
Oh, I was just dancing with the invisible woman. Hang on, let me do it right.
You dance nice.
Oh, and falling in love with you is the most terrific thing that's ever happened to me.
Wait, look, the clock is striking 12. I gotta go. Whoops, I've severed my arm.
I must travel across the land. Spurt, spurt. Oh, put it on ice. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock. I'm looking for a girl that just lost her arm.
Really?
I was pretty drunk at the party, so I didn't recognize anyone. Oh, could be you here. Try it on.
Whoa, it fits better than a glove.
Let me stitch that up for you.
Wow, the stitching works perfect, and if the color don't come back, we can make soup.
Yeah. I put a ring on your finger, but you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I love you.
And I love you too. Marry me.
I will.
But not right here.
No.
There you go, a little Cinderella scene for you. Thank you. In the style of Dr. Seuss for you now. It'll entirely rhyme like Dr. Seuss. Am I right, Donovan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we want to get?
Let's get a small town.
Can we get from you guys any small town? What's something they have there?
A cow.
So it's called Oxbridge. They got one cow. Ox. Okay, we're in some place where they have one cow. Here we go. Entirely in the style of Dr. Seuss. Entirely in rhyme. Here we go. One cow in Oxbridge.
Well, here I stand looking at my cow. I look at Bessie, say, oh, wow, that's a fine-looking cow. She gives good milk. I like beef and things of that ilk. I'm gonna go out all bright in the morn and milk my cow and pick my corn. I like my fruit and vegetables. I like cows and bulls.
Well, hey there, Ted, old farmer man. I am your neighbor. My name is Stan. My cows are gone. My herd is missing, and your wife I have been kissing.
My wife you've been kissing, but tell me that later. We gotta go find those alligators. I mean, cows is what we go looking for. Let's jump in on my Ford.
Well, away we'll drive down the street. This is much faster than our feet. All the cows, they are all gone. Oh, look, an evil leprechaun.
God, a leprechaun stole our cows and he sold our pigs and stole our sows. Let's get that jerk, that green little guy. I'll kick him till he starts to die.
All right. You stay right here. I'll go and get him drunk on beer. And then when he just isn't looking, you just go and just cook him.
All right, away you go. Hurry up, she's starting to snow.
All right. I go down the street, I run upon my feet to that leprechaun guy that is so evil. Come out, you crazy Irish bull weevil.
Well, how you doing? You like my hat? I stole your dog, your kids, your cat. I'm stealing them all for my big collection. It's given me such great protection.
Oh, leprechaun, oh, evil man. I am that guy's neighbor. My name is Stan. I am mad at you, you livestock stealer. And I would like to kill you, but first I'll feel her.
Yeah, just to see if I'm real, to see if I'm here. I'll tell you right now, I'm loaded on beer. I'm so drunk, I'll tell you, where's my gold? I got some cheese, but it's covered in mold.
All right. I'll make you a trade. If you can go and make the grade, then I get our cows back and I get your gold. You just have to do what I told.
All right. Well, tell me quick. Tell me your plan. Oh, give me your trick.
You gotta drink this beer, this here six-pack. You gotta go at it with relish, really attack. And if you can drink it and you're still standing, then with you and my cows I will abandon.
All right. Now here I go. I better hurry. She's starting to snow. I'm from Ireland, you know. I'm not afraid of Canadian beer. I'll drink it all day, and I'll drink it right here. What's it say on the side? Oh, it says old stock. I'm not scared of you. I've got your livestock.
Well, guzzle and drink. Go keep on guzzling until you can't stand or think. Go drink the alcoholic beverage. I'm using it to gain some leverage. Can you stand or can you walk? Oh, where are you now, Mr. Mr. Leprechaun talk. You cannot talk, you cannot dance, and I just stole your pants.
I'm naked and pissed and drunken can be. I'm standing right here in front of ye. You stole my pants and I've gone blind. Oh, stealing your animals wasn't too kind. I'm so drunk, I'm so crazy, I'm gonna pass out. And then I will scream and then I will shout, oh, getting me drunk was awful obscene. But now you gotta finish this flippin' scene.
Oh my God, what have I done? I just killed this here leprechaun. He's dead up on the floor, and now I don't have a partner no more. I guess he's dead, he's going up to heaven, and I can imagine he's got also with him 7 other leprechauns. They all go up. I can look and see up. I can almost see him rising from the dead. I wonder if he did what he would said.
I'm going to heaven, this crazy leprechaun. Me and Connery, first name Sean. I've learned a lesson never to steal no one's fowl. Just stay by your gold and hide and cowl. Well, that's not a word, but that doesn't matter. I'm a leprechaun, mad as a hatter. So don't steal no animals from Upbridge or wherever. Just make sure to check the weather.
There you go, Thanks very much. Thanks. I'm Paul. This is Donovan. We're